Welcome to the Nate KG podcast, a show dedicated to exploring the nuances of jump rope, where I talk with jump ropers of all skill levels, backgrounds, and fitness goals. On this episode, I talk with Tan Nim. Tan and I have had the chance to jump before, but this is the first time we've really had a full conversation. Tan is putting in some serious work as a fitness trainer, and we cover a lot of topics, including some of his clients that have lost a significant amount of weight, whether or not you need to be coordinated in order to jump rope, using rest to get farther with your skills, and a whole lot more. All of the show notes for this episode can be found over at natekg.com. And without further ado, please enjoy this interview of Tan Nim. Tan, thanks for being on the show.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm really excited to get into this. It's always fun talking with someone that I've jumped with. And I think a good place to start be to kind of explain like where you're from and where you are in the world and how you first found jump rope.
I live in Garden Grove, California, and I found jump rope late 2016. I just wanted to get into exercising. When I got into martial arts, I was very heavy-footed. I looked up YouTube videos of how to do jump rope, and I just could never do it. I would say like the very first time I tried it, my friend was showing me, and then he told me, can you do that? And so he gave me the rope. I tried it. I couldn't get it. After like 5 or 6 jumps, I keep messing up. So yeah, I didn't continue. I actually threw away my rope.
Really?
Yeah.
You're like, I'm done with this.
Yep. And I was like, jump rope is not for me. And then a few years later, I just picked it up and I told myself, okay, I can't stop. I want to get good. Saw how the boxers look really flashy and cool with it. I told myself, okay, I'm going to do that one day.
So when you started, because I get a lot of people messaging me like, I'm not coordinated enough to jump rope. Did you feel that way when you started?
Yes, absolutely.
And then you just decided to keep pushing through even though you didn't feel comfortable with it? Is that how you got over that thought of I'm not coordinated enough?
Yes, definitely. I actually feel I'm very uncoordinated. I've never been able to do like sports. So I decided jump rope would be the one thing I didn't give up on.
Wait, so you feel like overall you're uncoordinated and athletically you don't have like a huge amount of talent? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, definitely. Back in like school days, I remember I'm the last guy to get picked for like basketball or soccer. So I just never got into sports.
So how did you get into martial arts then? Because martial arts, I'm curious what style of martial arts and like why that sport, because that requires a lot of coordination.
I grew up being obsessed with like martial art movies. I'm super obsessed with like Bruce Lee.
Oh yeah. Enter the Dragon. Get out of here. That's good stuff.
One of my favorite movies. I'll watch it all the time and I'll try to like mimic his movements. And then eventually I pick up one of Bruce Lee's book, The Art of Expressing the Human Body. I got into martial arts and weight training. Eventually I just like told myself, okay, I'm going to try it out. And then I fell in love with it. There was no like, oh, this guy's not picking me for his team because I'm uncoordinated. It was more, I found a coach that encouraged me like, hey, look what you're doing. You're actually really good. Boost my confidence a little.
And when timeline wise, so you said you initially were exposed to the jump rope in 2016. Where does martial arts fit in that?
I actually got exposed to kickboxing in 2010.
Okay.
I've been practicing ever since. During sparring, I noticed the people who are really light-footed, they're really hard to catch because I had no footwork or like I'm not light on my feet. So I started picking things up many years later, and that's when I discovered jump rope.
So after you started, I kind of have 2 parallel questions to ask you. So when you picked up jump rope again and you actually set after it and you were determined to learn it and to get skilled with it, what were you doing to improve? And as you were improving, how quickly did you see results getting more light-footed in kickboxing?
I don't know. I had this thing where I'm sort of like a perfectionist. I just couldn't help it. But like every time I trip over the jump rope, I just like, okay, make sure I jump rope for at least 30 minutes to an hour, just getting down the basic bounce. Because I've noticed boxers, they could do it for 20 minutes straight without, just even breaking a sweat. I couldn't do it for 1 minute. My calves were like cramping up. The next day I couldn't move, but I knew that was going to help me improve.
So so that's kind of like the very beginning of jumping. So you were just kind of setting out to do it for, you said 20, 30 minutes at a time. Did that change over the years of jumping? Did you kind of evolve that workout structure?
Let's see. So now I started adding different kind of like footwork and coordination, add more tricks into it, make it a bit, because as you notice, single bounce is eventually going to stop getting intense. And so I started learning the double unders to make the workout more intense so that I wouldn't like be able to do this continuously. And it helps me with being more explosive when I'm sparring, transfer the energy between your feet to attacking. I would say like the boxer skip helped me out the most for martial arts.
I really want to ask you too about kickboxing more specifically, because that's a sport that I'm not very familiar with. So, what is the structure of a kickboxing match? How do you win?
So it's based on points, and basically in a sparring match, you want to be the one to either land strikes or not be able to get hit. There's obviously rules, you know. You're just really trying to impress the judge. They'll really tell you like, okay, you're doing something illegal. Like in kickboxing, they use range. Let's say you can't really do certain techniques that are illegal. You have gear and everything, so it's not really as dangerous as like professional kickboxers.
So it's really based on agility. I'm curious, like what's the like if we were to allocate like proportions to it, like percentages between raw strength, agility, which one is more important, and how do those kind of compare to each other in kickboxing?
Okay, raw strength, I don't think it would help that much since like everyone can punch really hard or hit really hard. If you can't hit an opponent that is moving all the time, then you're pretty much just wasting your energy. Who's like fast and light foot. In the match, he's more likely to make you frustrated. And when you're frustrated, you pretty much lost the game.
Okay. And so you were doing singles, you were doing double unders, and then you started to add in the boxer step. Was that then kind of the foundation for a long time, or did you transition into freestyle skills? How did that pan out?
So I actually, I stick to the basics for quite a while. Then eventually I looked up YouTube videos of how boxers do double unders, the crosses. I saw Mayweather do this cross open double under. I told myself, actually, I had to learn that. That was just one of the coolest moves I've ever seen.
Yeah, no, the cross double is really sweet, especially in the context of boxers or fighting realm. A lot of times that style uses a rope that's a little bit longer than average, but the style and the way that they whip it around is really cool.
Right, punch is called hooking motion. So whenever like crossing your arm, it's sort of like you're doing a hook at the same time. So when I see Mayweather, I would say the hook is probably the most strongest punch because you're really using your core and really turning your hips. I feel like it relates to that.
Nice. So it's a transferable skill. That's really cool. Okay, so you started kickboxing in 2010. You do that for a while. You're jump roping. You've got that going on. At what point did you decide to start training people?
Oh, okay. So I was training people back in 2016 just for fun because my friends, they noticed this little like leadership in me. They'll always ask me, hey, Tan, what are we working out today? And so I never thought about it. I was like, okay. I just told them, okay, I want to do sets of these, weight training, and then want to jump rope here, maybe do some martial arts for another 20 minutes. Eventually, I took it a little more serious in 2017. I found a gym that I could like rent out space and I trained them there.
Nice.
And that's where I grew like more clientele. And I told them like, hey, tell your friends about it. And eventually it grew from there.
That's cool, man. So it was born out of necessity because you were really good at what you were doing. That's awesome. So pre-quarantine, before things kind of shifted, what did that look like? What did your training look like?
Okay, so it would
training clients, sorry.
Yeah, it would involve just jump rope. I also want them to be light-footed like me. Don't make that same mistake. Like I took way too long before I incorporated jump rope. I showed them just basic bounce, eventually add more tricks into it just for them to have fun for 15 minutes, warming it up with the jump rope. And eventually we're gonna start doing footwork different from jump rope. Like there's a speed ladder or agility ladder that they can do to improve their footwork a little bit more. And then
what does that ladder look like?
It's one of those rolled up foldable ladders.
Oh, actually ladder. My bad. I thought you were saying like a jump rope ladder drill. Okay, now I got you.
And yeah, and then they'll just be doing pad work with me.
Nice. That's really cool, dude. I like that you're integrating the rope. You know, there's a lot of people who do freestyle skills and they're great on their own, but it's really awesome to see how many different ways you can apply the rope given a different context. You know, I really like that a lot. Do you have any other hobbies besides this that kind of get you fired up?
Yes, I would just say martial arts. 'Cause if it's not jump rope, it's definitely martial arts. Yeah, it gives me that, I would say, adrenaline. I'm always getting fired up to do like pad work or practice technique, but no one's really holding pads for me because, well, except my girlfriend Kelly. I'm trying to teach her.
That's cool. So it seems like, you know, you've got a lot of, there's this really, like you said, adrenaline, there's this high intensity, and there's this consistent leveling up in martial arts. And that's been a thing that's kept you there. Do you think that, you know, do you find that also in jump rope?
Um, yes, definitely. Yeah. Uh, because I would say like, let's see. Oh, that's a tough one.
I mean, in terms of like, because we're talking about a lot of, it takes a lot of determination, especially in the realm of kickboxing, boxing, martial arts. There's a lot of grit required. Like you really have to show up and mean it, like you're saying. There's definitely group work, but it's not the same kind of like team aspect as soccer, football, other conventional sports. Do you think that made you a little bit more, interested in jump rope?
Yes, definitely. Mainly it was just for footwork, but over time I see like there's definitely more challenges that you had to do with like
Hmm.
jump rope, like certain different skills. It took me forever to learn the double unders, about I would say 6 months.
Hmm. Yeah, those can be really challenging at first, for sure.
Yeah, and then for crosses, that was the main skills that I wanted to learn the most. It was the crisscross. There was like this Mayweather video. I'm sure a lot of like boxers or other skippers that have seen this famous video on YouTube by Fight Hype, and he was doing this run in place crisscross. That was a skill that I just couldn't get for the longest time, and I didn't know why. And that challenged me to really learn it, and that just like learning a technique from martial arts or boxing, kickboxing, and over time, after thousands of repetitions, that got me into learning and practicing more and more.
So we were talking beforehand about the cross a little bit, and you were saying there's been some frustrations, and I kind of want to dig into what those frustrations are, because I think a lot of jumpers at every single level, there is a skill that really just kind of gets you and frustrates you. I'm wondering, what are some of those frustrations that you felt with the cross specifically?
Oh, the crisscross. I just couldn't get the footwork and timing right for it. And I don't know what I was doing with my hands. At first, I was crossing on my wrists, and I thought I got it right. And then eventually I kept learning bad habits that I'm picking up, like I'm piking a little bit too much
Hmm.
forward, putting my torso forward, which
Hmm.
is okay, I guess. But then every time I cross, I would say like after 4 or 5 crosses, I would just trip over and over for like 30 minutes straight. And I just couldn't get it down. I almost gave up on that one. And then over the years, I looked up like jump rope tutorials to see like what other say about the crisscross, like little tiny tips that everybody has. So then I just implemented and tried it out, but I don't know. I just couldn't get the timing right for it. It was just something I hated it, but now it's like one of my favorite skill.
It's funny how that works. The skills that frustrate us the most end up being some of our favorites later. What do you remember what it was that kind of unlocked the skill for you? Or was it just sheer amount of repetition over time?
Yeah, I actually saw this video on YouTube by Rush Athletics, and he had a whole slow-mo tutorial, and he's saying something about like turning your wrist over. He's showing this slow motion turning your wrist over, and I tried it out, and over time I was like, okay, I think I know what he's talking about now. Eventually, I just kept getting it, and after not tripping over 4 or 5 jumps, I did it for like 20 jumps, and then
Hmm.
eventually I kept upping the repetition, get to 30, 40 without tripping, and then it just clicked to me. I'm like, okay, this is it. This is how you're supposed to do it. I recorded myself as well to see like the past and then how I am now, and you could definitely see like the form improvement. My hands are actually turning over, the wrist turning over, and that's what helped me a lot.
That's really great. Yeah, video is such an important tool to use, especially when you're in the process of learning, because when you can actually see what you're doing, it really changes everything. I'm curious now that you've had so many years with jumping, what does your jump rope workout look like now? What skills are you training, and has it changed at all from where you were a few years ago?
Yes, so I used to just skip for boxing and kickboxing, all footwork, freestyle that you'll see like any boxers do. But now I'm starting to get really into these like different competitive jump rope style. I would say like different skills that I've never seen before until I saw what was it, Mike Fry, Let's Jump
Hmm.
Out. I met him, I would say like over a year ago. I saw him on Instagram. I was like, what is he doing?
Yeah.
I've never seen it. I saw the names of it, like the Toad or the TJ. TJ looks really cool. That's a skill I'm still trying to learn. And yeah, that was the first time I was more amazed by jump rope, and I wanted to get into it just to learn the different skills that I like.
That's awesome. So where are you at now? I know I've seen you working with Mike a lot, and Mike and I have chatted also about, you and other people that he's worked with. What skills are you working on now?
The TJ.
TJ, yeah, okay. You have your toed down?
I would say I'm not getting my leg up as high as I wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like after a little bit more practice, I kind of want to get it down before the month ends actually. So I'll be
Oh,
practicing.
nice. This is a good question to ask. Where do you find information and where do you find your resources to learn? I know we've chatted about Mike and Rush. Are there any other outlets that you pay attention to and watch?
Just pretty much all YouTube channels
Mm-hmm.
from I would say most well-known people out there that jump ropes. Like Mira, you, Let's Jump LA, Rush. Yeah,
Nice.
that's a lot of it that I like to see.
Cool, man. It's really blown me away watching how many different types of jump ropers have gotten interested in the freestyle skills. Because like for me growing up, the freestyle skills, it was kind of people who were in competitive jump rope liked them, and everyone else were kind of like, nah, that's not really my thing. So it's really cool to see, people from different disciplines picking it up.
Right.
I'm curious now that you have this training going on. You're training these. You have this personal training going on. And you have new freestyle skills that you're after. What is your goal to accomplish with jump rope in the future? What do you want to accomplish with jump rope?
Oh, that's a tough one. For jump rope itself, I really just want to get all my friends and family and people out there to grab a jump rope, get that exercise in, maybe like learn more about this jump rope movement, this community, because
Mm-hmm.
I really just love this community, and yeah, I love the exercise and the cardio. It could be fun for a lot of people because I know people they just hate cardio or just hate exercising in general, but it doesn't have to be that. I want to get like a jump rope, help get a jump rope so that everybody could have a jump rope in their hands and continue growing this community that I love.
Yeah, no, that's really great. I feel the same way, and it's really awesome to see you putting in so much work to make that happen. What do your workouts look like right now?
So it will be 20 minutes of jump rope. I don't really have repetition. It's really all just time, 20 minutes. That way I'll have it going for my own pace. And then I'll do weight training every other day, but mainly it's just martial arts, 20-minute jump rope. And then after like a little bit of technique practicing, I'll have another 20-minute at the end. If there's some tricks that I want to learn or just conditioning myself, even though I'm all tired from the previous workouts.
Mm-hmm. So are your fitness goals then, are they more skill based or do you have a different goal when it comes to your fitness?
Okay, so it's definitely skill based, but I'm definitely trying to get my abs back because I gained some quarantine weight.
Nice. I think a lot of people are in that same boat. Nice. But so you go into your workouts then thinking more or less thinking about, here are the skills I'm trying to refine and practice.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Awesome, man. What is it about coaching that you like? Because your friends asked you to begin doing it, and it was this natural progression into it, but you stuck with it. What
Yeah,
about coaching interests you?
it's just seeing the difference that I can make just to like push them because they need a little bit of like push, a little motivation to just work out. They come to me for a reason. So when they ask me, I see like the smile on their faces, even though they did like the hardest workout or especially leg days. They hate leg days,
Yeah.
but well afterwards they were done and they thanked me and they want to come back for more, and that's just what pushes me a lot to continue coaching because
Hmm.
they say like it's something they need, it's necessary for them every week I would say, and yeah, that inspires me to or motivates me to continue doing this for them.
And I would imagine you get to see their results week after week, month after month, and you get to watch these people improve and get better, and it's directly because of the guidance that you provide.
Oh, definitely. When they send me like a photo or of their physique or of what they're eating, or they're just telling me like, "Hey, Tan, I feel great today. I love the workout from yesterday." That's the kind of stuff that put a smile on my face and let me continue what I do.
I was actually on TikTok like a month ago, and I saw there was some transformation video on TikTok, and there was a guy doing some mitt work and he was jumping. I was like, oh, he's jump roping, because that stuff kind of pops up every now and again on social. But then like the camera turned and then you were there coaching him. And I was like, wait a minute, I know that guy. And I forget who I was sitting with, but it was a non-jumper. I was like, oh, I know that guy. And they were like, what are you talking about? And I went to your profile and I don't think I couldn't find the exact person you had worked for, but the person was very heavy set. I mean, this guy
that's
lost.
AJ.
AJ?
He's very famous on TikTok from what I've seen.
That's so cool, man. It was funny. I was like, oh, here's this guy that's, making a big splash on TikTok, but then there's Tan right there next to him, giving him all those gains. That was fun. That was a fun find, dude.
That's funny because now that you mention it, a lot of people that probably saw the same video, they sent it to me that same night. They're like, "Hey, Tan, that's you." I was like,
That's
"Oh,
funny."
Yeah, that's AJ. He told me to get a TikTok not a while back, but I never got into it until recently. I would say like last month, I finally downloaded the app and checked it out. Yeah, it's pretty fun. Pretty entertaining. I noticed I didn't have you, Nate. I'm gonna add you after.
Yeah, dude. Let's do it. Yeah, that's actually really that's really cool. It's with clients on the day to day. It's you have people who show up and are consistent, but it's always fun to get that person who I would imagine you've worked with him for a long time, and he has made a very tremendous amount of progress, which is really awesome. Yes. Just out of curiosity, so he lost a lot of weight, which it was his primary goal, I'm assuming.
Right.
What did you have him do? How did you structure? Was it similar to your own workout structure, or was there anything different?
Yeah, he actually just built a lot of good habits that over time he learned from asking questions. Like the main thing I told him about was maybe his nutrition, because he would eat fast food a lot. So we fixed up his diet first before any exercise. And then over time, we gave him high intensity exercises that he can do on his level, and over time he was able to just continue it, and he's very determined. And that's the cool thing about clients that are super determined. They wanted that transformation just as much as we want to see them change. So he lost over 250 pounds, he told me the last time.
Holy cow, that is a lot. That is a massive difference.
You see a huge change, and I'm quite proud. I'm very, very proud of him. And he just loves boxing as well. He gets in training with high intensity in the morning, and then he comes at night for boxing. Just two workout a day.
Did he hit any sticking points where things got rough?
In his past, yes, where he's running two companies and his own brand, and he was just stressing. He was living the good life, eating well but not healthy, and that's what made it worse for him right now. But after coming back, he did actually, yes, now that I think about it, he was starting to lose weight, but then I forgot what happened, but he went back and he gained all that weight back. Actually, he grew a little bit more. So the second time around, he came back and he was very determined afterwards.
That's really common, right? Like anytime you're creating new habits and doing a significant behavioral change, it's really common to go back to previous habits. And to, it's funny. I think a lot of people, including myself in the past, have felt that with fitness, or even, fitness, weight loss, skill acquisition, any of it,
right,
that it should be a very linear process. You go from point A to point B. But in reality, there's a lot of 2 steps forward, 3 steps back, 5 steps forward, 2 steps back, where it's not a straight path.
Right.
Have you found that with other clients?
Yes, definitely. It's up and down, like a roller coaster from what I see. And my clients, actually one of my closest friends, his name is Josh, and he gained, let's say he gained a lot of weight back from what I helped him with. And I would ask him like, well, what's going on? He would just tell me about stress from work or stress from school. But it's mainly just a lot of stress that he's getting. And if he's not right in the mind, then he's definitely gonna give up on certain things and go back to those lazy habits that he was always comfortable with.
It's funny you mentioned that phrase, right in the mind. That is, beyond everything else, really the unlock. And I'm actually staring at a book in front of me called The Champion's Mind. And the main thesis of the whole book is that, a champion, their mindset is that they basically are always pushing forward and trying to win. But the interesting thing is that it's not about raising the bar every single day and continuing to raise it every day. It's more about no matter what challenge you're facing, you know that you're going to push through it. And an example of that, maybe in Josh's case, he gains some weight. We take a couple of steps back. And rather than hitting the gym the next day with the assumption that he's going to be in the same spot he was a month ago, he's just there to win that workout. And so I'm curious, what are your thoughts on, I guess, how to get your mind right and how to think about keeping your mind right?
I would say try to relax a little, yeah. Sometimes you could go straight 2 months really hard in the gym. Maybe you could take about a week off, just relax the mind a little bit. Your body, is taking its toll. When you get your mindset ready for like the next battle, then you can make it better, more intensity in your workouts. But if you don't relax and you're always like all work and no play, that I would say that was like the main enemy that's gonna hurt you more than ever.
Rest, man. Rest is such an important factor that I think, at least personally, I overlook a lot, and I've gotten a lot of feedback from people that they also overlook rest. And there's resting on your workout program and for weight loss, and there's that context, and there's also resting on skills. And I've seen a lot of jumpers really like hammering 1 to 2 hours a day on one skill that they want to get, and then they stop for almost an entire week or two, and then they return to it later. And that rest, even though they were not doing the skill, they'll come back to it and get it very easily. Yep. And have you also found that to be the case?
Yes, definitely. I would say that just goes back to my like double under cross, the cross open skill. There's some days I just don't get it, and it was frustrating me. And I just told myself, okay, I'll take a break for now. And the next time I did it, it just clicked. And when I was doing the double under, I'm like, hey, this movement's, I don't know why, but I'm getting it. And I just continue doing it. And then I got a video of it just to remind me, hey, I got it on this day. Mm-hmm. So that little rest definitely helps. For some of my clients, I would tell them like, oh, go take a break. You've been working hard. Go have fun. 1 week traveling somewhere. They went to like Coachella and they came back more refreshed than ever. They actually told me, Tan, I want to get this. Let's go. I already have my fun. I ate well. Let's get this work. And they look more determined coming back after that 1 week of just being rested and having fun going somewhere, whatever they're doing.
That is so true and so important, that you need time to cut yourself some slack and have fun, especially considering, the context of what we're talking about is people living their lives. There's no high performance goal. There's a enjoying your daily life goal. And that's so important. And if we were talking about an elite level athlete, it would be different. But, for the majority of us, we are trying to stay fit and be happy, But you mentioned a second ago that you took a video so that you could remember that you got that skill on that day.
Right.
And I think that is super important to track your success, because it can be very easy to remember all the times you didn't get something and forget all the times that you were successful. And I'm wondering if you have any systems or any practices for tracking success over time, either with jump rope skills and or with client progress.
For clients, I actually write down everything, or every month I will write down like what happened, like their body fat percentage, their weight, let them know their progress, tracking it that way. And if there's something like, say they went up in weight or something, I'll ask them like, hey, what happened? And they'll tell me, oh, I've been stressing, or something happened, so something personal that happened to them, then I'll recognize that. But other times, oh man, I was just thinking about it just now. Say for jump rope skills, there are other times I mastered it, like the video I told you about. I mastered the double under cross open, and then the next time I did it, I was like, what happened? It gets frustrating because I had it the other day and then I lost it. But that's a good reminder with that video. Like, okay, I'll get it again.
I really like the way you're explaining that, because it suggests that though there will be bumps in the road, you're going to return to your successes and you're going to have more successes, which is an incredibly important mindset to keep, because it can be very easy to think the reverse. It can be very easy to think, okay, well, I had some success, but I'm probably going to mess up later. And, I like the way you've set it up where you're always returning to success, and I think that's really great. So I'm curious, what is, your favorite place that you've jumped? And that could be a place, it could be an event, it could be whatever, wherever you take that question.
Oh, that would be the event that happened in 2000 last year, 2019, when I met you for the first time, and Jump LA, Mike Fry for the first time, and a bunch of just awesome people that I've never met before, like Jimmy, Davina. Yeah, that was really fun to like jump rope with them and learn like the different and see the different styles that they've been jumping with. Yeah, there's just those kind of big meetups are what makes me smile, what makes me happy, just like being in this community. It's just positive vibes all around. And I love that. I love these kind of meetup. That one is the most memorable for me. I still can't forget it. And I can't believe that was already a year ago.
Yeah, I know. Seriously, that LA workshop was really fun, and Mike and I were really pumped to be able to put that on. That was a good time. I'm curious, what did you think about seeing all the different styles? Like before that day, I mean, you knew about Mike, but like, what did you think about seeing all those different styles of jump rope?
So I thought that I was good at jump rope, but when I went there, it's clear that there are a lot of people that are way better. They have certain like tricks in their hands that I would want to learn as well that I've never seen before. Well, there's one specific one I think it's called the Mamba, the one that Jimmy does. I love doing that one, and I didn't even learn about the Mick till that day. Mike told me, and it's like he taught it to me, and I didn't think that there would be any strength skills, but then I learned it from you, and now I'm keen on learning the kamikaze.
Yeah, that's a fun one. I'm really glad that it helped, man. I'm really glad that it was able to provide some context about what's possible. And, kind of the whole goal of that day was to give out all this information so that people could pick and choose what they wanted and apply it. And it sounds like you've done that. And I'm really, really happy to hear that.
Yeah, love that day. Can't wait to go. Can't wait to go back.
Yeah, for real. So what, has jump rope taught you anything? And if so, what has it taught you?
Taught me to never give up. Obviously, if I didn't continue, like I just gave up jump rope in general, I probably wouldn't be in this like awesome community of these nice people, and with different skills. Obviously, yeah. If I gave it up back in 2000, I don't know, like 2012 or 16.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because everyone knows jump rope is frustrating, especially when you're not coordinated and you have to start from the bottom. And even if you are coordinated, there's some skills I'm sure even the high level people, the advanced people can't get, but they never gave up. And for me, I never gave up either, and I'll continue it. And then eventually I do get it because I would say jump rope is just frustrating in general. But then when you land that skill or like any trick, then you're like, oh, okay, that's actually it was worth it. All that work, it was worth it. And that's what I like about jump rope. It taught me just like you never give up, keep going, continue those repetitions, because trust me, it will help. I've seen like a lot of new jumpers on Instagram, and that reminds me like I was there before, and because I didn't give up, me now, and I know they're gonna get better too.
Right. It reinforces that grit and determination.
Yeah.
That's cool. I really like that. What has been the most difficult thing you've had to learn or overcome? And this can be sport or jump rope related, however way you want to take it.
Sport or jump rope related?
Mm-hmm.
I would okay. Well, the biggest thing that is actually not sport or jump rope related, it's actually health related, because I have severe psoriasis since 2012, and that's the one thing that I have overcome. I had to actually change my whole like health style, the way I eat, the way I manage my stress level, just the way I think. Got to think positively, because there's a lot of things that affects my health. And if you don't know what psoriasis is, it's this not skin condition, but it does affect your skin. Is an autoimmune disorder. Yeah, I would say that's the biggest thing I had to overcome, because I had it for over 4 years. And after changing my lifestyle, I was able to accomplish like, okay, my skin got a lot better. I'm looking and feeling a lot better. But actually, it is kind of jump rope related, because I would say how I manage my stress level is actually by doing exercises like jump rope and martial arts.
That's really great. It sounds like it really flipped your world upside down, and you had to make a lot of changes really quickly. Yeah. I'm really glad to hear that you were able to use martial arts and jump rope to kind of accomplish that. I'm really glad to hear that, man. That sounds like you've had a lot of positive, not only success with the condition and with your fitness, but also with your mindset. I mean, it sounds like you've really done a lot of work in that regard too. I'm curious, like if we think about the older version of you, and you can pick 2010, 2016, whatever time period you think, kind of like the version of you from a long time ago, if they could see you now, what do you think they would say?
So I would say he'll ask me questions like, "Hey, okay, when did you learn all these skills? When did I get so good at mid work? When do I meet all these awesome people in the jump rope community?" Because back then I'm very introverted, so I don't really go out and talk to people or do meetups. So yeah, I just keep quiet and keep to myself. So this is like a 180 change for me. Like I really turned, and now I'm talking to you on Skype, or like meeting other people from the jump rope community and actually do meetup. So yeah, he'll be surprised, like, whoa, okay, when will I do all this?
That's really cool. You must have pride and self-esteem that comes along with that. So we've been talking for this has been a really good conversation. I'm really digging this, man. I know we've met in person before, but I'm really glad we were having this opportunity to really dig into a lot more detail. I kind of want to wrap around to the last question of the podcast here, which is, what is jump rope to you?
That was the hardest question that I had to answer. Yes. But I actually thought about it, and just like martial arts, it's a way to express myself, like just like the way we flow with our jump rope in our hands, the way our body moves is just how we express ourselves. That's in my opinion. I see like many different jump rope styles from different people, and the way our body moves and how we do a certain trick could tell, like, the difference between what you do versus what Mike or what Coach Chris does. Yeah, that's the main thing about it, like how we flow, and that could connect to like life. We never stay still. We continue growing. We're flowing through with the jump rope. We're getting better with certain tricks. There's actually this interview from Bruce Lee a while back, and he says, he quoted, "Running water never grows stale, so you just keep on flowing."
Dude, I am so glad that you brought that up, because back when I was in high school, I would spend hours and hours and hours watching Bruce Lee interviews and listening to Be Like Water. I love that so much. I actually have, I'm forgetting the name of the book, but it's a Bruce Lee, one of his books that's a collection of a lot of his sayings and thoughts over time. No, I mean, we've really covered a lot, and I thank you so much for taking the time to do this, because I knew that you were a coach. I knew that you had history with martial arts, and I've followed you on Instagram for a while, but it's been really fun hearing a lot about not only your history with jump rope, but also with your clients and everything. And this has been really fun, man. I really like this.
Thank you for having me. Oh, I actually have a question, Nate.
Yeah.
Do you have your own jump rope brand?
So I am actually, as the time we're speaking right now, I'm in the process of creating a lot of training programs for jump rope, which is kind of a very large generic statement. But, over the years, I have seen and gotten a lot of feedback from many different folks, a lot of what you've articulated today about wanting to learn different skills, this different path of fitness, and finding these different contexts that fit you, and how to lose weight with jump rope or sharpen skills. There's all these different things. And I mean, it's been years and years and years of just listening and gathering feedback. I've got a good program that's going to be coming out probably mid 2020. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. I think it's gonna be really fun.
Awesome. Then you have my support. I actually been asking Mike about that too. And I noticed that you two don't actually have your own jump rope yet, and I would like to have my hands on one.
Sweet. Yeah, I'll definitely be keeping that one in mind for sure. Awesome, man. Well, I will let you get back to your day. Thank you again so much, dude, for taking the time. This has been really fun, and I'm glad we got to connect.
Thank you, Nate.
Hey, before you go, I just wanted to say one last thing. One of my main goals for this podcast is to share the stories of other jumpers and provide a full picture about everything that's possible with the jump rope. The more people that hear this, the better. And it would really help me out if you sent this podcast to somebody you know, whether in real life or digitally on Instagram, Facebook, whatever platform you use. It would mean the world to me. So that's it. I hope you have a great rest of your day, night, lunch, evening, whatever time it is for you right now. See you later.